Thanks for still being there. This is Rise and Shine, and we're coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Of course, to push further our conversations this morning, in a couple more days, May 27, we will be celebrating our children on the international stage. Of course, a day to give back, but this year, something is going to be done differently. Have you heard about tuberculosis amongst children? Nigeria accounts for the highest number by statistics, with about 69,000 of our children suffering from tuberculosis. To have this discussion with us this morning, as there is a need to have tuberculosis testing amongst children, we have joining us this morning on set Program Officer Cecilia Kafran joining us this morning. Good morning, ma'am. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here.
We also have here Rose Ifon, TB Supervisor, Iket Local Government Area. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, the only man with us on set this morning, we have joining us Oluseyi Akintola. He is the Technical Advisor, Program Breakthrough Action Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure having me.
All right. Okay, tuberculosis burden, the conversation. How much of tuberculosis do you know about? And are you aware that children also suffer from this very, serious issue? Yeah. I know a lot of people think that tuberculosis is incurable, but that is a very big myth. So let's start this.
Or a death sentence.
Or a death sentence,
yeah.
Yes, or a death sentence. So let's start this conversation this morning by saying tuberculosis amongst children. When was that discovery made? Because I know a lot of people don't know that children can have tuberculosis. So let's start from the ECHET, local governments.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And the discovery of tuberculosis among children was also made when the discovery of tuberculosis among adults was made. Because it is believed that wherever you discover tuberculosis and adults, the child, all the children that are there are at risk. So the bacteria is also able to stay in the body of the children. So at the same time that you discover tuberculosis among adults, that same period we discover tuberculosis among children.
Okay. All right. So
I think I'll further ask if for now.
Okay.
ACATs, you're the one supervising ACATs
Yes.
now. Has the statistics been in ACATs, and what are those modalities that have been put in place to checkmate this tuberculosis in children?
Okay, thank you very much. And the statistics is quite high because ACAT local government, we have been able to the last quarter we have been able to identify about 94 cases, and we've been able to identify from there about 10 children that have been affected with tuberculosis. So what has been put in places there is creation of awareness. Thank God for the breakthrough action that have assisted us to create awareness for mothers to bring their children out whenever they see the symptoms, and we visit the child healthcare departments in the clinics and schools to encourage the teachers and the caregivers and the health workers and the doctors that are actually seeing these children in the pediatric unit that they should encourage testing of all cases of children that have symptoms that is suggestive of tuberculosis.
Okay, let me talk to our Oluseyi Akintola, Technical Advisor, Programs Breakthrough Action Nigeria. Let's even start from the basis, because a lot of people will think that tuberculosis, is just not like just a normal cough. There's no clear distinction between which is cough, a normal cough, and when it transits to, tuberculosis. So let's just get like a very brief background of what tuberculosis is, which kind of cough would cause tuberculosis, what are the predisposing factors, to tuberculosis?
Yes, tuberculosis is is an infection, and it starts when, or when we suspect it when you start to cough more than 2 weeks. When a cough continues to, disturb you, and for more than 2 weeks, you need to check it. Secondly, we also need to, when somebody becomes to or becomes sweaty at night, it is also one of the symptoms that we also consider to be one thing that we know to identify somebody who has TB. Also, when somebody has a persistent cough and low-grade fever, consistent, almost always every time you are treating fever, you may have to suspect TB. So TB is caused by one bacteria, microbacterium. That's what we don't want to say all this big grammar on set here. So it is caused by that, and one of my colleagues used to say that it is one of the infections that you don't have to make any effort to contract, because when you breathe naturally, there is possibility that you breathe it in. If somebody has TB around this place and coughs or sneezes or talks, even sings, the aerosol, will be in the air for close to, especially when it is cold, will be in the air for close to 6 hours. And anybody who has low immunity is likely to pick it up. But if somebody has good immunity, then one may escape it. So that is
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. That already sounds a little scary, that just by breathing I could pick up tuberculosis from someone else. But then let's look at the fact that we are narrowing in on concentrating testing children. Why that attention at this time? And I'd like to speak with you, ma'am. Why do we want to test children? There's a widespread push to make sure that quite a number of children are tested nationally at this time.
Yeah, thank you very much. The life of every child matters, especially to Nigeria and the authorities. And we saw that we were not finding the cases, but yet they are there. And a lot of Nigerians live in denial. They keep saying it's not my portion, it can't be me, and all of that. And as we keep denying, it's spreading. And the air, everyone needs air. We all breathe it in. And if there is a case in a family, for example, the children around that person, that index case, like she said, is at risk. And that is why we always do contact tracing for children that live with the index cases that are on treatment to ensure that they don't come down with the disease. Okay, so right now, we've been doing a lot of awareness creation towards social behavioral change to ensure that people know about tuberculosis. The statistics recently show that only about 25% of Nigerians know about tuberculosis. So many say it's witchcraft, some say it's a curse, some say, they say a lot of things concerning this cough, yet it is spreading. So for children, this is the week of International Children's Day. So government and partners came together and said that this is an opportunity for us to go into the communities, go to wherever children can be found. And then we did a mapping of those locations. And throughout this week, nationwide, including the FCT, will be going to those places to speak to the children. Remember, children can carry these messages very far. Apart from screening them, we want them to also know, okay? And also to screen these children using the tools that are available to us in Nigeria to ensure that we find the children who are on or who have TB. Like she said, in Eket alone, over 90 cases in the last quarter. So that tells you that those children can still infect other children, because we know the condition of our schools and all of that. So
Over 90, is the number low or too high at the moment
I think
for
it
the
is
whole
high.
of Eket cluster?
Yes, I think
It
that
is
is
high.
high.
Okay.
Yeah, so we really need to do something. So children are being screened right now. We have informed the parents and the schools and the authorities that are taking care of all these children. So we screen them for TB, and anyone that is found positive is treated immediately.
Okay, what are the symptoms that we are looking out for in children? How can you identify that a child needs to be tested for TB, for instance? How can teachers be aware of the situations with their students or a parents? Signs to look out for.
All right, so the most common symptoms, as we said, is cough. That is the pulmonary TB, the one that attacks the lung. TB can affect any other parts of the body. Okay, so if a child is coughing consistently for more than 2 weeks, that child needs to be screened and tested. And also, when a child is not thriving, the child is not doing well in health, like you compare a 1-year-old to a 3-month-old. A 1-year-old child is not rising up to walk, is not thriving, is losing weight and all of that. That child needs to be tested. And also, if it is TB of other parts of the body, you see the signs, maybe swelling of the back, and there are signs that you will know that this child needs to be tested. So malnutrition too is a factor that we need to ensure that, like, we are also collaborating with nutrition clinics to ensure that the children there who are not doing well should be screened for TB. So we have these messages all over the community, and we're hoping that our teachers and other caregivers will get to have this information, so that they begin to look out for these signs in the children.
Okay, so I really want to commend Breakthrough Action Nigeria, for making sure that we have this kind of push. But like it said here, this national testing for children is going to be from 22nd to 28th, which means that it started on Monday, and by Sunday, they should be wrapping up with the testing. But so far, so good in Akwa Ibom State here. How many local governments are we covering, and what would we say has been the progress so far? What is the response from parents? Because we have situations where you go to ask a parent for a child, or they get to hide their children. No. Especially, how it works when we have immunization cases, So what has the response been so far? What is the progress so far? And how many local governments are we covering in all of this? Let me talk to Akintola.
Yes, we are covering all the 31 LGAs in Akwa Ibom, and the outreaches have been tremendous. I mean, reception from community members have been, actually amazing. And yes, you mentioned that some parents might not be willing to bring out their children. Yes, there is stigma, and we have to deal with that. But we can dispel all this the stigma, because through information, a lot can be achieved, and that is what we are doing. Through we have radio jingles, we have our community volunteers, community people that are out there, providing information and awareness to parents and everybody. So as much as possible, we are trying to break down that barrier.
Okay, so you're trying to say that the progress has been, very, very successful.
Yes.
But again,
exactly.
after this whole testing, what next? I'm happy you said, okay, so if you discover a child that has come down with tuberculosis, you treat on spot. But after the whole testing, what next? Do we just relapse and say, oh, we've done a great job? Are there no further, actions to be taken?
No, there are. Once the week is over, in each local government we have a team of TBLS, as like my sister here, and she has a team on ground that they will continue to do or to carry out routine activities. Those routine activities will continue to try as much as possible to detect cases, TB cases among children, among adults too. My colleague also talked about the fact that when you have one person having TB, there is a possibility of the fact that for a year, the person may actually infect as much as 15 people. So it is important that we locate anybody who has TB. By locating such a person, we are able to take him out of, equation of those that will be transmitting TB. Because as it transmits, people pick it up. And those people, once they get infected too, they will start transmitting. So you can imagine, how it spreads. So we try as much as possible to carry out routine activities every week, not just for this week alone.
I'm sure a lot of people would be wondering, where do I go, for these routine checks and all of that, especially in ACETs that we have a very high statistics of those that have come under, the burden of tuberculosis. Where can they go?
Okay.
So just, to add to that, because that was where I was heading to, also the treatment, is it free? Do they have to pay for it? These are some of the things that people want to know, because when you're talking about tuberculosis, is a highly stigmatized disease in the country. So people want to know, if I want to get treatment, do I have to pay? What are the procedures like? And like she said, are they walk-in facilities?
Okay, thank you very much. I will start with the answer to the question of where do they go.
Yeah.
Like for this testing this week, we are going to be at Ikodinya at our community hall.
Itainyang.
Ikotinya.
Okay, Ikot Inyang.
On community hall at our So we are looking at scheduling the community hall for this week, this very first of testing week. And next month we'll go into the schools and other pediatric places where we can find children. But for now, the community has been sensitized, and that the parents should bring their children to that place. So about where we can get access the treatments after being diagnosed, starting from the screening. TB services are available in all the government facilities, that's including the local government health centers, health posts in Eket, and the secondary health facilities, that's talking about the general hospitals and the cottage hospitals in Eket. And we did not stop there. We have extended the services to the private clinic, because we know there are some people that don't like accessing health services in the government hospital or local or health post. They love private clinic, and they will want to. So because of that, the program has extended the services to the private clinics, and now we are working with all the private clinics in Eket.
But all of these services, they go beyond just Eket local government area, if we must get it right.
Yes.
It cuts across the 31 local governments
Yes.
in Akwa Ibom. So we have facilities spread
Yes.
across everywhere.
Yes,
Okay.
all the 31 LGS, the local government facilities, and
That's
the
primary
state
health care,
primary
development
health care,
agencies.
the health posts, we have the general hospitals, even the teaching hospitals, the tertiary facilities, and the private facilities. You get in there and you get the treatment. And quickly, I want to add that TB services TB is curable, and the treatment is free.
I think
Yes.
that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
When you say I wanted to hear
Yeah,
this,
for our viewers,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely,
important.
because
Yes.
Nigerians run away from anything that has monetary, value attached to it.
Yes.
and then again, some people might try to take advantage of people in those situations and want to make you pay for those services, when there are
Exactly.
organizations like yours that have provided free treatment. But let's go to a clause that I saw in your rundown of activities. The fact that street children will also be covered in this testing. Getting children from their families and schools is another conversation entirely. But how are you going about providing this service to street children? And after you have tested them on the streets, like we said, the bacteria is susceptible in every atmosphere. For children on the streets, after they have been tested, some of them diagnosed, what do they do? How do they cater for them after that?
Wow, I think it's something we all have been discussing, because these are kids that you may not be able to link them to a particular address. Okay, so we engage the community leaders for those who can identify these children to ensure that we link them up to a place where we can follow up with them. We don't just want to diagnose children and then they get missing, especially when they are positive. So that has not been an easy one, but with the help of the local authorities, the community leaders, even the park authorities, those in the garages and all of that, that is being done so that we don't miss any cases at all. Okay, so but the attention really is on the children in the schools, where we can trace them to ensure that we are actually getting these children and ensure that there is case holding. That is ensuring that they are on treatment and they will be followed up until they finish treatment. Because of a truth, TB treatment takes about 6 months.
Exactly. That was going to be
Minimum.
my next question. The length of time that people need to be, on these drugs. And it's a daily, you need to take your doses.
It's a daily dose. You need to take it the way it is prescribed. Okay, so we don't want to take any chances. So any child that we know, that we find, we must be able to hold them down wherever they are, whether in the park, we get an adult who will be responsible for that child and all of that. And also the local government supervisors have been doing tremendous work. They've been trying to ensure that they are the guide here. Because we, Breakthrough Action, we have a state office here, yes, but there are information and things that we need to do, that we need their support. So whatever we do, we run to them.
Okay.
Please give us, show us the way to do this better.
So we're talking collaboration with state agencies and all of that. And we also expect that the state government is widely involved in this testing.
And just to say that the TB program in Akwa Ibom State, within the Ministry of Health, they are in charge of this program.
Okay.
So ours is to provide support, and that is in the area of social and behavioral change.
Okay.
And awareness creation, including demand generation.
Okay. I think the theme for this year is every child's lives matters. Now, very shortly, because our time is up, what would be your last word to everyone watching us at this moment?
Yes, you have said it. Every child's life matters. So it is important for parents, caregivers. It is very, very important for them to be able to recognize these symptoms that we have said. And it is important for them to link health care services, because, as we have said, testing is free. Treatment is also free. So it is important for them to be able to know and get this information right, locate the health facilities within their environment, and make sure that they get treatment for their children.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Oluseyi Akintola, Technical Advisor, Programs Breakthrough Action Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning. And of course, a very big thank you to Rose Ifon, TB Supervisor, AKET Local Government Area. Thank you so much for coming. And Cecilia Kafran, Programs Officer, Breakthrough Action Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
TB, health burden, it's a wake-up call to everybody. We have to put our hands on the plow to make sure that we get every child tested, because every child's lives really matters. at
Every
this
child's
point.
life matters. So
Okay.
extend a hand of fellowship to everyone around you.
Mhm.
Raise awareness. That's the most important thing. But that's definitely all that we can take for this morning. And we need to say a really big thank you to everyone who's been a part of Rise and Shine this morning from all over the country. Thank you. Do well to follow us across social media platforms, all of which you can find at spectrumtv.ng. My name is Uyai Aneka. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Yes, we'll definitely do it again tomorrow. My name is Janice Cobham. Thank you so much for our super productive team. It's been a wonderful ride with all of you. Bye-bye for now.